Voters of all parties back Labour's plans to boost workers' rights, a poll has shows. We're going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that voters for all parties back Labour's plans to boost workers' rights, a poll has shown. Policies popular even among Tory and Reform voters, as Union says pledges must be honoured in the King's speech. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. So just want to reference that this has been recorded before the King's speech, so obviously it may be added in the King's speech, so I just wanted to put that reference out there for those who are wondering, because I think that's really, really important. So, we obviously, one of the things that the workers' rights have been eroded over the last 14 years by conservative governments and conservative actions, and it's really, really important that we get some of those workers' rights back. We obviously know that, but a happy worker obviously means a more productive worker as well. It's not just a case of making sure that they are getting enough money in their pockets, but if we give them the rights and the benefits as well, they end up becoming a much more valuable member of society as well, that worker as well. And we should always be trying to encourage them to join a union as well, to give them protections as well from employers whenever there's employers looking out there looking to take advantage of them. That's not to say that employers do take advantage of them in all cases. There are some cases where employers do a very good job of looking after their employees. However, there are also situations where we have in this country where a lot of employees don't have those protections and safeguards that they need, and that's where a union can come in and make the difference for them and protect them. But it's fascinating to know that that both Tory and Reform voters want to get more workers' rights in, because, again, like I said, we want better protections for our workers, and we want to make sure that our workers are happy and productive, because that's what leads to growth, among many other things. But it does play a factor into it, you guys. So let's read what they've had to say in this, guys. So Labour's plans for boosting workers' rights are backed by voters across the political spectrum, including the majority of Conservative and Reform supporters. The new polling commission by the TUC shows. As the new government prepares to set out its programme in the King's speech on Wednesday, so it may even come out, like I said, you probably watch this after the King's speech. The TUC is urging ministers to press ahead with implementing their manifesto pledges on workers' rights in full. In a poll of 3,000 voters carried out by the Opinium on the day of the general election this month, almost two-thirds of respondents, 64%, supported giving workers protection against unfair dismissal from day one of their job. Absolutely. We don't want anyone with the unfair dismissal thing. Like, let's be real. Like, you're not helping anyone or anything, by dismissing them from day one of a job. Like, no, there needs to be safeguards, So you've got to be realistic here. That includes an overwhelming majority of Labour voters, 81%, along with 55% of Conservative voters and 57% of those who backed Reform. Similarly, more than two-thirds of those polled, 67%, supported banning zero-hour contracts, which includes 67% of Conservative voters and 72% of Reform voters. Other aspects of Labour's New Deal for working people include a ban on fire and rehire, also commanded majority support in the polls, including among voters who did not back Labour on the 4th of July. Now, let me be very, very clear here. Now, The Guardian are saying they're including the ban on fire and hire. That is not what they said in their manifesto. It says specifically in the manifesto, exploitative ban on fire and hire, not outright ban of fire and rehire. It's a very important distinction to make here. So The Guardian are not being 100% honest with you on that one. That's really, really important. But interesting numbers here: 67% of Conservative voters, 72% of Reform voters want better workers' rights. I'm that's very positive to hear. The TUC General Secretary Paul Nurek said British voters across the political spectrum want work and pay to feel secure and respectful in their jobs. Labour's workers' rights plans are hugely popular, and this poll should give ministers the confidence they need to get on with delivering them in full. The New Deal for working people has been championed by the Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner amid concerns among some of the union's movements that aspects of the plan could be diluted in the face of pressure from business. At a reception in Parliament last week, Rayner told an audience of Labour trade union supporters including several new MPs with union backgrounds, that she would work with them to see the proposals implemented. Labour has promised to introduce a new employment bill within 100 days of coming to power. Other aspects of the plans include establishing collective bargaining in the social care sector and making statutory sick pay available from the first day of illness. The junior business minister, Justin Mathers, who is heavily involved in Labour's workers' rights agenda in opposition, is expected to shepherd the legislation through the House of Commons. Labour has also said it will consult on how to create a single employment status, eliminating the current situation in which individuals can be employed, self-employed, or classified as a worker. The latter group, often on casual contracts, did not receive full employment rights. A Department for Business and Trade spokesperson said, delivering a new deal on working people is a core part of our national mission to grow the economy and raise living standards across the UK. By modernising workers' workplace rights and making work more secure, we will put more money in at people's pockets and spend and lay the foundations for economic growth. Some business groups have expressed reservations about workers' rights agenda, with Rupert Soms, the president of the Confederation of British Industry, warning that the plans could make employers reluctant to take on new staff. The Institute for Physical Studies think tank also warned about the possible trade-offs involved, using a report issued during the election campaign to suggest the costs involved could result in lower wages for workers who are not protected by the national living wage. The TUC's polling also underlines voters' gloom in terms of their own finances, with 54% saying their personal circumstances are getting worse. Now, I also have to stress, guys, as well, that this is just it is a poll. So it's not the indication of how everyone feels with it. So we do have to take that into consideration. So you also have to take it a little bit with a pinch of salt whenever you get any polls on that. But it is still quite interesting, to say the least. It is fascinating numbers, to say the least, that they're saying Conservative voters, Reform voters, obviously want better workers' pay. Because normally you would feel that they would rather make sure that not so much in those favours. But apparently that's what it shows according to this. But again, you can make your distinctions about how you feel about that. But I do think it's a positive sign in the right directions. But like I said, at the time of this recording, this is before the King's Speech. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably been reintroduced in the King's Speech, which I think is really, really important. But yes, better workers' conditions, worker protections, job protections and whatnot will make a massive difference. And it will give workers a boost in confidence. And, you know, better, healthier workers means obviously longer working hours and whatnot. But obviously time will tell. It's still too early to say on how the government is doing at the moment. They are making small little changes here and there at the moment. But let's see after 100 days to see how things are going. But, you know, positive sign is what I will say here. Well, I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys make about boosting workers' rights, giving them a bit more boost, bringing that level, trying to bring more of a level playing field between what businesses desire and what unions desire, and how important it is to try and strike a balance there? Let me know your thoughts and more. What do you think of this poll? The fact that perhaps maybe Reform and Conservative voters back it. Let me know what you think about all this and more in the comment section down below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me in the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching. Hope to catch you all very, very soon.